Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2025 Chevrolet Trax. This is a 2RS. It's finished off in crimson metallic. MSRP is just over at $27,000. Now this is powered by the 1.2 liter 3-cylinder turbocharged engine. It's paired to the 6-speed automatic, pumping out 137 horsepower, 162 pound-feet of torque. That power sent to the front wheels, propelling this 3,000-pound SUV from 0 to 60 in around 8.5 seconds. It has a top speed of 115 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 13.2 gallons. You'll expect to see around 28 miles per gallon in the city, 32 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 106 inches. Its overall length is 178.6. It has a width of 71.8, a height of 61.7, and its ground clearance measures in just over 7 inches. Now as we take a look at the exterior styling, this red really makes it pop and gives it some great lines and angles. But up front, there's the Chevy bow tie with the chrome surround. There's also a really nice black chrome trim accent that runs behind it from headlight housing to headlight housing, where this is also equipped with LEDs for the DRLs, which are the upper housing, and then the separate housing down below has the headlights, high beams, as well as the turn signals. Now there's also the RS badge, plenty of cutouts in that gloss black grille as well to provide a lot of cooling, including the lower section there. There's also a hidden sensor for the distance pacing, and then some more gloss black in that entire lower section. And then some really nice lines that come down the hood just to finish it off nicely. Now this model also has a really nice set of two-tone wheels. You'll notice they have a neat design to them with the Chevy badge for that center cap there. There's also plastic for the lower section of the bumper, and it works its way to the fender flares, both front and rear, as well as the entire lower side skirt there. There's also gloss black for the mirror caps, sunroof up top, gloss black for the roof racks. There's also black trim surrounding the windows. And then, not sure if you can tell how small this vehicle is. I'm 5'10", I can clearly see over the entire roof there. So it's a very small SUV. There's also the body colored spoiler with the third brake light, wiper blade in the lower section. The taillights have a neat design to them as well. Very large, especially for the turn signals there. There's also a backup camera with all the parking sensors, and then gloss black for that lower bumper there. This also has remote start, so if you double tap on that and hold this button, it will start right up, and then you just hold on that if you need to shut it off for whatever reason. Those are the only controls that you have on here with lock and unlock. From there, we can open up this lift gate. It's not power operated, but it's pretty easy to open up, where for the smaller size, there's actually a decent amount of space. There's also a small storage bin on that left side there, and there's even some storage underneath the floor with that spare tire, so you could place some items in there as needed. Now this is also a removable cover, so if you need to take that out of the way, you can do that. You can also fold down the back seats as well to give you that much more interior space. And then there's a grab handle up top, so you can easily bring that back down. Now as we work our way to the back seats, the interior is pretty simple for this model. There's a lot of plastic on the door panel, a little bit of storage in that lower section there, and then your window control and your release. Neat design for the back seats with all of the red accents. And then at 5'10", I do have a good bit of space. There's a little bit of storage in the middle with some auxiliaries, one storage pocket behind that passenger seat. And then at my height, I have about a ½ inch or so of headroom. So for its smaller size, I can still sit upright and be comfortable riding in the back. Now there's nothing in the middle here, so there's no armrest. The middle seat doesn't fold down or anything. You do have a pretty big pillow right there, but you have that small window and the back glass to help see around it. So for its smaller size, you can definitely make it work for people in the back. Now up front, there's all of the window controls, side mirror adjustments, you have lock and unlock, and then a neat trim accent underneath all of that. And then the front seats are manual adjusting. There's RS up top with more of the red accents, and then the controls for the height adjustment, recline, incline, and then the bar up front to slide this forwards and backwards. We are greeted with a really cool steering wheel though. It's perforated and solid with a flat bottom design with some really nice trim accents. Now on this left side, there's all the cruise control settings, distance pacing, and heated steering wheel. And then let's start this up so we can go over the controls on the right side, where there's your volume along with Bluetooth controls. You do have shortcuts to your music. So for the digital screen, Fuel is on the left side, engine temperature is on the right side. You can use that music control to quickly get into the sources here, and that is about it. So you can't actually use this rotary dial to go through the infotainment system. This is fixed with the info that is seen. Now this does have power or volume and tuning on the back side of the steering wheel, so it still retains those controls. Now on this left side, there's the headlight adjustments, the dimmer switch for the gauge cluster. There's a really neat design for these air vents as well. And then as we work our way to the infotainment system, pretty easy to go through this. On this left side, everything is fixed there. So you can quickly get into your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. There's the climate settings. So once you have power to those, you can go through all of this information and get that set up as needed. If I push on this button right here, you can get into your maintenance along with your trip and gauges. So you can go through all of this just to monitor as needed. There's also some more traction control settings that you can go into. You have your phone, so you can pair that, and the shortcut to music. There's also power and volume as a physical control on the far left. Now there's two air vents underneath that, and then you do have physical controls for the climates. So fan speed is on the right side, temperature is on the left. You have a few other adjustments along with where you'd like the air to go, even heated seats for this model as well. Now there's wireless charging along with a few auxiliaries. And then the controls behind that are for your lane keeping assist and your engine start stop. Two cup holders along with an area you could place your phone in the middle. And then let's put this into reverse where there's the backup camera with very good graphics, including those guidelines. Now there's also drive in a low range gear and then plus and minus on the side. So you can actually shift using that if you have to. There's the e-brake just behind that. A little bit of storage in front of the armrest where there's also a good bit of space. And then the glove box also has an ample amount of room for additional items. Now up top, there's your rear view mirror, and then we have the controls for that sunroof. Sunshade is manual adjusting, and then you have the rest of the controls from there. And here's a look at visibility. Even with that pillar back there, you have that small window in the cargo section. So that does add to being able to see a little bit better, and you can easily see over that left side as well. As we set off now behind the wheel for the Chevy Trax, this has been an interesting smaller size SUV to take a look at. My wife and I have been in this for the last few days. We took it on a small road trip, and you can definitely feel how small it is, at least for us. We're used to much larger SUVs, trucks, even sports cars, but this is a small SUV. Even for the two of us, it was pretty small, but not to knock it for any reason because of the size. If you're not looking for a larger vehicle, this is definitely a great option to go with. It is something that's very maneuverable, easy to park. It gets really good gas mileage. And it's also very affordable too. Under $30,000 to get a brand new vehicle. You can't really knock it for that, especially with the technology features that it has to offer. So it's been interesting to be in this smaller size world here, but it's nice. It definitely drives really nice too. The seats are fairly comfortable. I got a little bit uncomfortable after about an hour or so, but you know, that's just a personal preference in how you feel in the seats. But it's nice. I like the steering wheel too. The notches on both sides give you a good grip for this. One thing I haven't really done yet is we are going to use the shifter here from second gear. We'll give it some gas. And this is pedal to the floor. It takes a little bit of time for that turbo to kick in. It's not the fastest vehicle with that 0 to 60 time like I mentioned earlier, but it can get up and move. I do wish it had a little bit more power for those situations. But other than that, it's good. It's what you'd expect for this vehicle. And I think Chevy did do a great job with the interior storage and the room that you get for this kind of vehicle for its exterior sizing. And it's also been pretty quiet too. So I haven't had issues with road noise on the highway, things like that. For its very affordable price, it's put together very well. We do have a lot of plastic, which a lot more expensive vehicles will also have in certain spots. But if you look aside from the plastic, it's pretty solid. There's no rattles or anything like that I've heard, you know, on highway bumps, just things like that in general. So for the price that you're getting, it's very well put together, and it's a nice place to be. So I don't have any concerns with it aside from the size. So that's just a personal taste and what you are looking for out of your SUV. I would prefer something much larger, but for its size, like I said, You can't really go wrong with it if you don't have a lot of items and you want something a little higher up than a sedan or a smaller vehicle like that. So if you want to sit up a little higher, you still sit low in this, but obviously you're still going to be higher than a sports car or a coupe or something like that. And switching to this angle now, here we go. Definitely has a lag to it with that turbo there. But as far as handling goes with this smaller vehicle, just going at normal speeds, it seems to do very well. You know, this is a short SUV. It has a low roofline too. So its center of gravity is going to be lower than other SUVs that are quite larger. So surprisingly, it does very well around these turns. And this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the Chevy Trax. I will say for its price, you do get a good bit. As far as the tech features go, it's not an abundance of everything. So you have like the distance pacing, some of those more important features this has, and then you do have a limited amount of info on the infotainment system, but enough to daily drive this and use this every day. So it would definitely make for a great daily driver, especially if you're racking up the miles. And even if you're driving in the city, even if you're not driving in the city and you just want this smaller vehicle, it's a great option for all of that. So it's something that you can drive every day and you really won't have any issues with it, to be honest, until you outgrow it. If you get to that point or you're just looking for something like this. But if you have a small family, it's a good option too. And hopefully you can tell just going at these normal speeds, it's definitely quiet. And as far as the maneuverability goes, making a quick turnaround here, not all that bad. And then we are back up to speed. So with my week with the Chevy Trax, it's been nice. Definitely a small vehicle though, taking some time to get used to it compared to what I own and drive a lot more of. But overall, it's great. You know, under $30,000 in today's world where vehicles are climbing, you know, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 or more, you look at this for well under half price, and you would expect to see this based on everything else in the market and pricing and everything. This is kind of what you would expect to see, and it's nice. So you don't want to break the bank. You can still get a good SUV for the money. That is going to wrap it up for the 2025 Chevy Trax. Give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.